It's Stone Cold and O.W.P coming at you live. What, kid? What? Now, as we promised, allow me to introduce to you our wrestling podcast. What? Our wrestling podcast. What? This is Wrestlemania 36 Night 2 recap. Take it away, boys. Fuck you, Dave.
Welcome to the O.W.P. This is our wrestling podcast. This is Dave along with Jess.
Yo.
And Craig.
Maybe.
What is it? Bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. And now on to our topic today, Wrestlemania 36 Recap Part 2. Hit us up on Instagram at OWP 2019. Click on Linktree. You can find us on several platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Soundcloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. Guys, like I said, part one. We've never done this before, but yet we're here again. Let's move on to day 2, Jess. What do you got?
Day 2, same rules apply. Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down. We're going to start with our pre-show match of Liv Morgan defeating Natalya in a singles match, 6 minutes, 25 seconds. You know, they both worked really hard here. I thought this was the best that Liv has looked.
Yes.
Even better than with the Riot Squad, because it's kind of hard, or it's kind of easy, I should say, to get lost in the shuffle with them. I didn't see anything special. It was just a pre-show match, so I give it a thumbs in the middle. But again, I don't mean that disparagingly. I think this is the best Liv has ever looked. I'm glad she got to be in there with Natalya, because Natalya obviously is like a ring general. So it was kind of good that she needed to be seen in a good match like this to show that there is potential and they can kind of use her on a bigger level later.
Mm-hmm. I give it a little more generosity. I will give it the thumbs up because I've been waiting for them to break out with Liv for a long time, and I think that she has great potential. And Natty even allowing that to happen, even if it's a pre-show for WrestleMania, for her to go over on WrestleMania, even if it was that quick, like, oh, I got you kind of pin. I absolutely love that. And I did think that they went pretty hard on each other. I thought it was a lot of well done, sequence of moves and a little bit of beat down in there too. And they both look great. I do believe that Natalya looks like she's slowing down. I don't know if anybody.
She's been doing it a long time.
I think it's time. A long time. Yeah. So I think that's that's the perfect opportunity where you should be putting someone over, and that's the right thing to do for all those reasons. I give it a thumbs up. It's in the right place. It's not on the show. It's on the pre-show. That's where a pre-show match should be. For all those reasons, it's the right reasons. Thumbs up.
Greg?
Yeah, this was kind of like due to social distancing rules. This, I guess, was our Andre Battle Royal. So I guess you give it to Liv Morgan and make her a little bit. And nobody has made more women than Natalya. So it was fine. Thumbs up.
Cousin?
Thumbs up as well, just because I appreciate. I'm a fan of Liv Morgan. I love the character since NXT. Or well, she had a different character, but I love just the work that she's put in as a character and developing that character. And then now just seeing her in the ring, I think she's gotten better. So I give it a thumbs up. I appreciate the work. And then Natalya, I'm one of the guys that, like, whenever women wrestlers come out and she's like, I challenge someone to an open challenge or whatever. And as soon as
Natalya's coming.
Well, no, when you that and when you hear it, I just go, oh God, I'm bored with you. But she's so good in the ring all the time.
You hear that?
Whee! Yeah. I'm like, it's not Brad's. You just copy. Yeah, it's just like
we all know it's not bread. God.
So then we move on. They kick off night 2 with the NXT. They kick off night 2 with the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defeating Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. 20 minutes and 30 seconds.
It didn't even feel
I'm not
like
even
it.
going
Oh
to
my
talk
God.
about who won because I think that this is the situation, in my opinion, that where it doesn't matter, and they need to find their footing again. They need to start building really good faces. Whatever the 2020 version of a face is, I think that Ripley is it, and they just got to find it. And again, she's got that cool factor to her, but don't push her too hard down my throat. But I don't mind Charlotte beating her. I might have exception with the submission, but that's okay. She worked on the knee. She did everything she was supposed to. She reminded me of her dad, Charlotte did. And I give this match a big thumbs up. It was really well worked. Both girls were fantastic. Both women, excuse me, were fantastic. And just not even for a women's match, just for pure wrestling working, they worked really, really well together. I'm looking forward to another match between these guys, hopefully in under better circumstances. But I wasn't mad about the ending. Thumbs up. I loved it.
This match, for me, stole the entire show. It's the best match of the entire weekend, in my opinion. I know some people disagree with that on this podcast. That's okay. But I firmly believe that this match, these two girls are not small. Most of the WWE girls are small. I'm not saying in a bad way. Like these girls are buff, and these girls are tall, and these girls can run the ring ropes like just as good as the best guys out there. And if not better, might be better, in my opinion. They run it better than anybody. And then they proceed to beat the shit out of each other. Those chops were horrifying. I mean, they punish each other the entire time. That 20 minutes to me felt like 5. I can't tell you how many times I was like, oh my God. Like even like the slightest chop. And then she works the knee. And when Charlotte was working the knee against the ropes, even my kids were like, ow, that looks like it really hurts. My wife was like, oh my God, this is really brutal. I'm like, hell yeah, it is. This was the best match of WrestleMania by far. Biggest thumbs up I could ever give to these two girls. They are the future of wrestling, and Charlotte's been doing it a long time, but they are the absolute future. I know that I said I've disliked Charlotte, and I think now I know why, because quite frankly, nobody could keep up with her until now, if that makes any sense at all. Rhea's the closest thing to it, and if they continue to wrestle, I'll watch that match every single time, 10 times on Sunday. Phenomenal. Just I couldn't. I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be that freaking good. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they told a great story. 20 minutes. It did fly by. They beat the snot out of each other. Great opener for the second day. Just thumbs up.
Cousin?
Yep. Gave it a thumbs up as well. Appreciate the hard work. And I love what the doors that this opens as far as Charlotte, the matches that she's could possibly have in the future with all these other NXT women. And just the fact that it might open the doors for a lot of cross promoting and further pushing NXT as that top brand, as putting it on par with Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, man, great match. Hard hitting. I loved every one of it, bit of it. I'm a fan of both of them. I've loved Charlotte since her early days in NXT when she had a fucking barn burner of a match against Natalya when Natalya went down to just work with them a few times. So yeah, thumbs up.
There's two types of wrestlers, and there's that UFC style wrestler now that's like, oh, that's the one that's hardcore. That's the one that's gritty. These girls don't wrestle like that. And they may it, I would put them against any UFC women's wrestler type right now. I think like they would destroy Shayna Baszler. That's how I felt after that match. They would destroy all those UFC. Oh my God, no one could beat them. These two could beat them. I'm not even questioning it. That's how good it was. That's how they made me feel good about wrestling again. The real wrestling entertainment that we're used to watching. It was phenomenal. Sorry, I can't get
going on. No, that's fine. Going on to I'll take some liberties on these ones here. Aleister Black defeated Bobby Lashley in a singles match, 7 minutes 20 seconds. Thumbs down. Right man won. Total normal Raw or SmackDown match. Go ahead, Dave.
Same, yeah. Thumbs down. It shouldn't have been there. There was no reason to have it. Thumbs down for
Craigie.
Yeah, not sure why it was really put on WrestleMania. But you know what? It was serviceable. I'll say thumbs in the middle. I think they worked well together. It seemed a bit out of place.
That's true. Yeah.
Cuz
thumbs in the middle. I hate the build. Like there was no build to it. They randomly put it together. But once
That's
again,
true.
these guys that worked together, and it was kind of cool. Like it changed it up from Alistair's dominating everybody. It's like, oh shit, now he's in there with a real threat. But at the same time, they've they've dropped the ball with Lashley. I mean, I like what he does with his character.
They always do.
But I mean, but he's working with it really good. He's playing the part up pretty good, but it just made him look so stupid. Like, why would you drop Alistair because Lana said spear? Why would you drop Alistair when you had him beat? Like, but I mean, I'll give it thumbs in the middle because I love both guys, and I did appreciate the hard work that they put in there as well. I know that's going to be
there's an immense amount of talent in there,
and I think if they give him more time, I think they could have a fucking great match with the proper
WWE has never done Lashley right. We all know this. Never has done him right.
No,
never.
No. But
no.
We could skip the next match, actually.
Yeah, on to the next one. Otis defeated Dolph Ziggler with Sonya Deville in his corner, and Mandy Rose came out and, of course, defended Otis. Singles match, 8 minutes, 15 seconds. Total thumbs down for me. Another shit. Don't give a shit about it. Another obvious, in my opinion, another glaring sign that they don't know how to connect with their audience and that they don't know what they're doing. And that's just my opinion. Dave, what do you think?
Especially when the audience is there.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that it disagrees with you slightly because there's a couple of things, and I give it the thumbs middle only for these reasons. People love Otis, by the way.
They do.
They just love him. I mean, he's like that adorable good guy, like the Hacksaw Jim Duggins of the world that you just love. Way more talented than Hacksaw, in my opinion, too. By the way, for a big man, and he can go. He doesn't get blown up like you think he would for 400 pounds. But after the match was over, this match was built up. By the way, this match was built up for weeks, and they did a good job with the story there. I'm still trying to figure out who the truth teller is. I still think it's Mustafa Ali. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I think it just seems like it to me, but we'll see. Anyway, with that, when the match was over, my kids and my wife were so happy. They're like, "Oh, they finally got together!" Like they were into it. They were into it. So I know for us hardcore wrestlers, wrestling fans, we're like, "Oh God, I'm so glad this is over." But they did attract a certain fan base there, and I'll give it the thumbs middle. I don't think it had to end on WrestleMania, but for the match itself and for the story, I give it that thumbs middle. Yeah. They actually did something and stuck with it for once. Thank you. At least you stuck to it for a bit of time. Gosh. And Mandy looked sensational, as usual.
Craigie?
I like the build-up. I liked the promo package before. I wanted to like the match. I'll give it thumbs in the middle. I didn't love it. But what keeps me giggling is the fact that Otis wears like a size small female t-shirt and then cuts the sleeves off and then wears it still like a halter top. So I don't know why he's wearing it at all. Right, is it just to cover the nipples? I don't know, but I giggled through half of it with that. And then it was a decent slap too. And then seeing him kind of take Mandy like King Kong was a nice little finish too. So for what it was fine. But again, there's a lot of matches at WrestleMania on these 2 days. Don't know whether this one should have made the card, but
Cuz?
Yeah, I'll give it thumbs in the middle just for the sole reason of Mandy Rose being there in general. I'll give it thumbs in the middle though because then I'd be a hypocrite because like I said with Lashley and Alistair with no build, they just randomly threw that match together.
They built this, yeah.
They built it. It is a little cringeworthy when they have to like kind of tell you what they're like when Otis is like, sounds great, Mandy, heart emoji, and then it shows when they did the truth, the guy exposing the truth. How Sonya had to say delete. It's like, okay, you don't have to tell. I get it. We can't see what they're doing on the phone, but you don't have to fucking tell us. Like I cringe at that type of shit. But the fact that there was a story, Otis getting his heart broken, and then he ends up getting the lady in the end of the day.
You're doing all the movie cutaways. You could have cut away to the phone and watching her delete the message. I mean, you could have.
Why didn't they just show whatever pictures Mandy could have been sending Otis? I don't know, but yeah, it's just I'll give it a thumbs in the middle just for the build.
Out of touch, old man. That's why it sucks. But in all fairness, though, I would say if it was in front of 70,000 people, I bet it would have played a lot better, legitly, because people do like
exactly.
Otis.
They would have loved it. Yeah. Oh, the crowd would have gone nuts when he finally wins and he wins his lady. They would have been.
Oh, they would have cut to like the crowd and women crying and stuff and put it in the package the next week. It would have been that Randy Elizabeth moment.
They would have used the Randy moments. Yeah, the Randy and Elizabeth. They would have cut away to those.
So
I gotta interject
really quick. Just cut away to the 80s film of all those girls crying.
Just
cut it in there.
Really quick, just a really quick comment.
Wait a minute, that's what we gotta do. Just
just a real
seriously.
quick comment. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, I said a real quick comment. You know, it would have worked well in front of the crowd. Remember when the Women's Royal Rumble, when Mandy Rose got thrown out and you couldn't see why, like she got stopped and you didn't know, and the crowd went crazy when they realized Otis caught her. So yeah,
they loved it.
Yeah, they loved it. So yeah, if this was in front of the crowd, it would have been way better. And maybe even Jess maybe giving thumbs up middle.
So because I have an editing challenge for you. Like seriously.
Okay.
Work in the end of the Otis Mandy where they finally get together, and then splice in all the Macho Man women, with Elizabeth, the ladies crying in the crowd moments in between the cuts, and then and release it. I think you would. It'll and cut the audio in too. It's just amazing. Yeah, cut it in. I want to see it. That's your challenge for this week.
So.
You got to cut.
So the next match is the major return of Edge. He defeated Randy Orton in a last man standing match, 36 minutes, 35 seconds.
God,
this match was way too long, and I like both guys, and I was glad to see Edge back. And Edge looks great, he really does, and Orton is Orton. And so I didn't know what to think being taken out of their element. I was really wanting to see this match in front of a live crowd, obviously, because I feel that's where it belongs. Mm. But I'm going to give it a thumbs in the middle, almost like going to a thumbs down. It was way too fucking long. It was way too long. Like I just felt like it was the same shit over and over again. They went in and had the same rhythm in every room. They were in their weight room, then they go in the meeting room, then they go in the back area, and they just did the same beats.
And there was a lot of breathing, like
for 36 minutes. It's like just a song that only has like the lyrics that really, And then the announcers were like, and the announcers just like going like, and Randy walking down the hall, so upset. This match is so personal.
God,
so personal.
I hate when he does his serious voice.
This is so personal. This match is so personal. And I'm like, oh my God, can't you have any kind of bass in your voice or like excitement? Like they're beating the shit out of each other. Having said that, both guys worked really hard. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not shitting on them. They're both legends, really. Like, but I'm shitting on it because it was way too. It was way too long, and it was like.
It was way too long.
Everybody went out of their way to shit on Triple H last year for him and Batista having their blowjob fest out there on a bad spot on last that should have been earlier in the night and should have been 10 minutes shorter. And this match is the same way. I know we like the two principles a little better than last year's, but it was the same thing. It was the same carbon copy of a long, drawn out, boring match from last year. And like, it just didn't have to happen that way. They pre-taped it. They could have edited out whatever they wanted to and made it all make sense, but they kept every boring moan and groan in it. Every boring moan and groan. Now, I might find out that 10 extra minutes got cut on the editing floor and it would have been 46 minutes. I don't know. But I hated it.
It's like Batman v Superman.
I hated it for Edge.
There was more?
I hated it for Edge. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. Go ahead and take it.
No, it's like Batman v Superman. You mean there was more of that? Oh my God. Like, what the hell's going on? I think we all said that before WrestleMania started, this was going to be the match of the weekend. We all thought it. We all thought, okay, this is good. This build-up is good. They told great stories beforehand. Their cutaway sequences to talk to each other were phenomenal. The build-ups on Raw were great. I was like, man, this is going to be so good. And I couldn't have been more let down, unfortunately. And I'm not an Edge guy. I'm definitely an Orton guy, but, Jess and I fight about this a lot, I think, even though we're nice about it. I've never seen Edge as that champion for me. I just never did it for me. I can't explain why it was because I know people love Edge. It's just not for me. It's just not my particular flavor of soda, I guess. I don't know. But when he came back and the crowd erupted, at the Royal Rumble, and he was in the best shape of his life, in my opinion, is in the best shape of his life. And I was like, now I can get behind this guy. And then I just got let down at WrestleMania. I'm leaning towards a thumbs down, actually. Way too long. They could have done so much more with it. They didn't have to go that long. They're both older guys. They don't need to go. They could have gone 12 minutes and it would have been 10 times better, in my opinion. Sorry.
Craig?
So this WrestleMania match was so long, I thought Triple H was in it. And that actually just kind of... Yeah, Jess, you made me think of that joke with your comments. The second joke I have is the actual guided tours that you actually have at the Performance Center. aren't even 36 minutes long when you tour the facilities.
And
that's what this match kind of was. And I will give it an emphatic thumbs down, sadly. And I say that as a guy that watched the Edge documentary and then was so inspired, I actually picked up a kettlebell and did a workout for the first time in 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. Like, I was so motivated and inspired by his comeback and that documentary. And then thought I wanted to see what he could do in the ring based on that. And they just did 36 minutes, almost like they didn't trust him in the ring, or just knowing that as any opportunity they had to get out of the ring in an open arena environment, they did. But to take 36 minutes and to mess with the weights and just throw 25-pound weights at each other, and then Spider-Man elbow drops off conference room tables, and then just a long-winded tour. And I think Jess, someone texted, was that Cena? Look in the background there. During the part of it, it didn't do it for me. They truly tried. Sorry, cuz they truly tried to tell an epic story, and it was just too long. And it just didn't do it for me. And I'm really, really sorry that I wanted to love it. I didn't.
I'm so sorry that I didn't like it.
For Edge, I wanted to. For Edge and for Orton, I wanted to.
Yeah.
I think that's why I even said thumbs in the middle to begin with. But I'm legitly sliding to thumbs down. They did the same beat, the same rhythm in every room. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't happening. I think I was thinking halfway through when I thought it should be over, probably around like the 19, 20 minute mark. I was just like, God damn it. Like, this is bad. And then it just kept drudging on. And I was like, if somebody doesn't get lit on fire or something, like, there's no reason why this should have gone this long. Edge tried his best little acting, at the end when he cried, and that's fine. But I'm like, oh, buddy, like, I'm really crying.
You could have done that. You could have done.
He was really crying because he's like, this is my comeback. Fuck, I should have probably waited. Yeah. Like, so go ahead. Sorry, I know it sucks, but they should have.
Is this the?
He's crying.
Is this the argument that Orton just can't have a 5-star
I would say
match
this is once again
now?
another huge glaring thing that you could jump on that bandwagon a little bit. But I love Orton, and I think that he's wonderful in there. But
I do too.
But
yeah, you've made the argument.
He's never had a 5-star, or even dare I say a 4-star. Maybe he's had a 4-star match, but I don't think not very many. Not very many. But he's got all the tools, and he doesn't have good matches for no good fucking reason, and that bothers me. I don't know why. It just bothers me.
Maybe he knows he's gonna go longer than Ric Flair, and he's like, I'm saving my 5 stars.
Yeah, he's just gonna. Yeah, right. And he's gonna start like doing. So what did you think?
Tearing it up. Okay. So I'm not gonna name the person, but I was watching a video, and the person said, "This match was so long that maybe it was actually longer than I thought, and my mind just thought what it wanted to saw, and it ended, and it actually probably still going on right now, and I thought it ended because that's what my mind wanted to see." Man, it was another a wrestling channel, but basically he was saying that maybe the match is still going on, but his mind wanted it to end sooner than it did, so maybe it's actually still going on right now because it was so long. No, man, I give it a thumbs in the middle. For one, I'm disappointed because, like I was saying, like after seeing Rollins and Owens and Corbin utilizing the silence of the no crowd, I felt like there could have been more shit talking. Instead, we got and we got, oh my God, Randy Orton's gonna
fucking unbelievable.
But there were still some moments because of some of the shit talking Orton was doing. It kind of had you drawn it. That's why I made that joke. Like Randy had to tell the ref, "Was that not a count?" Like, because I think the ref was like when he was trying to hang Edge from the weight equipment, which I'm not going to reference what that reminded everyone of, but yeah, but I think the ref was legitimately like into that moment because Edge was like, I still love you, Edge, but I got to do this, and like he was hanging him and beating the shit out of him, and I think that's why the ref legitimately fucking forgot to count because Randy had to say that. Was that not a count, ref? And then the ref's like, you look like he snapped out of it. But man, it just went on too long. I felt like it would have been better, even with that length and everything they were doing. I felt like it would have been better if they utilized more shit talking during the silence of everything. Like Edge showing that at the end, like, don't fucking count yet. Like, they bleeped it out and they're like, oh, he said an F word. I felt like, and then if the commentators would have just been fucking like, just, oh my God, oh, like, just into it more, like that would have made it better. But thumbs middle sliding, like Jess said, towards thumbs down because of the fact that they didn't utilize the silence. They could have shit talked more, and the commentators, I think, brought it down more than anything for me, honestly. Yeah. I think they did.
And I've never booked a promotion like Jess either, but you know what? I would just say my advice would be get up faster. You could cut this match in half.
I know, Edge looked like
get
he
up
was dead in
faster
the first fucking minute, so I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Save the long.
Even make the count faster to get up faster.
Yeah.
Go 1, 2,
You're right.
3, something like that. I mean, do something else. Like, I hate last man standing matches to begin with. I'm just being straight with you. I hate that shit because it draws everything out. 1. So every time he's doing 1, I was going 2. Like, right, like, and my kid's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get this to go faster." I'm just like, it's not working. But, yeah, like, go home, as Gorilla would say, right? So it's like, oh my god.
So the next match here was the Street Profits defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against Angel and Austin. Typical Raw match. Thumbs in the middle for me. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, thumbs in the middle. I love them, by the way, but I don't think they're ready for that kind of moment. Thumbs in the middle. It was so. It could have been better. There's definitely something going on there when these players are at Wrestlemania. There's no real ring general in there. Like, Vega's probably the closest thing to it, and that's a recipe for disaster. It's not Wrestlemania quality.
Great.
Yeah, thumbs in the middle. It was completely uneventful. I'm sorry. Thumbs in the middle. Yeah.
Just thumbs in the middle.
Yeah. Street Profits thumbs in the middle sucks because I love watching them perform, and they do great work on the mic.
I do too.
I think there'll be something. They got to season a little bit more. The next match was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending the title against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. 19 minutes, 20 seconds. I was actually surprised by this match because they all worked really hard, and it was way better than I thought it was going to be. Seeing the story built around Becky and Shayna and Charlotte and Ripley, this was a throw together match. We'll have a 5-way or whatever, and I was just wow, like that thanks, like they're shitting on the women's SmackDown title, but they worked so hard. Craig texted me, and I was thinking the same thing. Lacey Evans has improved so much, and she worked she worked so hard. A lot of the criticism online from her was she was not ready, and when they brought her up, she was super green, and then she got thrust in title matches with Becky Lynch, and all true, but she could have faltered and she didn't. She tried even in those matches. Even if she fucked up, she still tried. She still kept going. And she's committed to this kind of vanilla character where it's like, of course you're like that. This snotty girl. She's so snotty, and then she's got kind of like an old timey feel to her. But I like her more as a face, and I didn't think I would. And her and Bayley just have a better dynamic for some reason that way against each other.
It's working.
And they worked hard. All of them worked hard. Bayley retains the title. I give it a thumbs up. I was pleasantly surprised by this. And after the shit show, the last 4 matches before that, Aleister Black match, Otis match, Edge match, Street Profits, I was like, come on, give me fucking something. And this got me going a little bit more. I was very happy with this match.
You finally feel like Bayley's coming into her own as a heel. I feel like she's finally starting to own it. And I think to your point with Lacey, she can work a little bit differently with her. Lacey and Becky are almost kind of similar in that way, the way they wrestle. And I think Bayley can be that ring general a little bit more. It meshes better. It's a better fit. And Sasha's amazing no matter what you do. But the fact that Bayley is working some legitimate heel stuff and it's believable, and she's finally starting to get the wins. To your point, Jess, when she needs to. This is a win when she needed it to happen. She'll lose it when it's a non-title match. So what? That's what heels do. So this is finally starting to work for me. We all thought Bayley should have been turned heel a long time ago, and I think she's just now finally starting to own it. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up too. I liked it. I thought they all did well. Kept my attention the entire time. Had a lot of fun spots in it, a lot of moments. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Good job, ladies. Thumbs up.
So, cause can I guess you're gonna give it a thumbs down because of Tamina?
No,
right?
Actually, I gave it a thumbs up after she got eliminated. So. Yeah,
because
she's
what I'm
just
saying.
the one that. Oh my god, just even more than Natalya. When I know she's gonna come out.
Why
and
is she there?
Yeah, I'm just like, why? Just get rid of her. Come on, I wish they all murdered her in the ring. Honestly, no, I'm just kidding.
Wow. I mean, her dad did murder someone. That's enough murdering.
Oh, well. I mean, karma. But no, I just no, I give it a thumbs up, and
you could argue that her knee issues are worse than Nia Jax. She can't even walk down there.
Wait,
I don't know how she does a super kick. How does she?
Oh no,
do it?
I think Nia Jax is way more talented than Tamina. Honestly.
No, I agree. And, but Nia had blew both knees out, and Tamina's still wrestling for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. But Lacey Evans, man, I've once again, because she came in with that character in NXT, well, she was actually kind of more of a face. She'd kind of played more into the military type of persona in NXT, and then I actually was a fan of her work already. Like when she got brought up to the main roster, I was already liking what I saw in the ring. I thought she was already working hard, and she's improved in this match, has shown it. But I've always, ever since she came up to the main roster and she played that snobby, like old school heel, honestly, in that old school era.
Don't touch me.
From the 50s, woman from the 50s. Yeah. And I've loved it. And all like that match, the action and between her and Bailey, I think there's a lot you can do with that. And man, I give it a thumbs up for sure. A lot of hard work in that one.
Somebody had to be fed to Becky, and this was safe. But I think at the end of the day, she had to look at herself and say, well, am I just going to take that and be done with it? Or am I going to try to work my way back up? And to your guys' point, she's done that. Lacey has done that. Yeah, man. So, I mean, a lot of people would have been fed and then disappeared, right? It would have been fed to Becky, fed to that top person and disappeared. And she did not do that. She's still hanging in there and she's getting better. So, and she came back face to do it. Not easy.
The stories of, interactions with fans outside of the arena, what was the one where she had she was gonna shake someone's hand or something, and she after she shook their hand, and she took out her handkerchief and wiped her hand off, like cleaning off the germs and stuff like that, and using her handkerchief to shake people's hands. I wish they never gave away that fucking where she got that ticket from that cop. I wish they never told everyone that was staged, because I think that just fucking killed it. But yeah, I think Lacey Evans, I think she's got a big future for herself in WWE.
So
the
next, I can't even use the M word. It's not a match. They have it listed as The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeated John Cena. He didn't defeat John Cena. They didn't even have a match. This in the skit that John Cena did with The Fiend was 13 minutes long. It was called the Firefly Funhouse match. I hated it. I gave it a total thumbs down. I hated this pile of shit. There is a difference between the Boneyard match and this. There's a very big difference. It's glaringly obvious. I didn't like the cooperation in this. I didn't like the way John Cena. I know we're supposed to suspend disbelief, but this is, come on. I'll suspend disbelief in fire coming out of a building and him appearing behind AJ on a tractor. That's fine. And the music being played like it's an action scene in a movie. That's fine. You can still kind of get behind that because there's two characters that have a beef with each other that were going at each other. I never felt this way. I didn't feel that any of these characters were in danger. It was like a comedy skit that they were both participating willingly in. And I never felt John Cena was in danger. I never felt like they were competing against each other for one person to gain an advantage and pin the other person, or however you win this match. I have no idea how you win this match. I felt they completely shit the bed with this, in a bad way. Already when you take the title off The Fiend, which he should have never really had the title to begin with, but then you make him lose in the manner he did to Goldberg, which was odd, and tarnished him a little bit, and then you give him this, and I'm like, God damn it, really? Bray is so talented, and he so works and cares about everything, and you can tell that he cares about that character, and he doesn't care what you give him. He's going to try hard to get it over, and you fucking owe it to him. I know Dave has made this off the mic several times. They've given him so much resources, right? And they have. From the entrance to the look and the gimmick, and I get it. They really have. But it's not like Bray hasn't hit it out of the park with it and really owned it. And if you're going to bring Cena back, why would you bring Cena back for a Saturday Night Live skit? That sucked. Why? I just don't understand it. Get it? Cena's cool. He's letting them make fun of him. It's fucking, it does boring. Just seriously, just take me out back and hit me in the face with put me in the grave, in the Boneyard match, please. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And I'm like, you would have done the same thing in front of 70,000 people. I have a funny feeling. And that's a scary thing. But sorry, go ahead. Thumbs down. Go ahead.
No, but thumbs down for you. Here's the take that I have on it, right? And you already know how I feel about the Boneyard match because I want it to be a wrestling match. Here's what and I think I mentioned this when we were texting yesterday. I said, look, if they brought him into this weird hypnosis world and was messing with him and brought every aspect of Cena being a hypocrite and Vince, being over the back, we're going, that's good shit. I mean, they were making fun of everything. They were making fun of people podcasting, making fun of Vince. They brought out
not to cut you off, but that line did make me laugh so fucking hard. Like,
you left,
Jesus,
you left your ass
I was
off,
like
right?
so bewildered. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then when they showed the puppets again, like it just, oh, this is good shit. I was like, oh my God, can't fucking believe they did that. That's fantastic. And then I went right back to hating it. But I would say for that moment.
I'm pretty sure it was Vince's voice that did it. Vince was
for
doing
that
it.
moment, that was
I'm
hilarious.
almost
That was
positive.
fucking hilarious.
But yeah, it was great. So here's the thing: if they had done all that, and then somehow eventually it winds back into the ring, and then they work,
Okay.
and they put on something decent.
Okay, that's
that's
actually a really good idea. Absolutely. Okay, that's a really good idea. That right then,
like
Dave.
all of a sudden Cena comes out of the fog, and
you've never ran a wrestling promotion either.
Yeah, okay, I'm down. But for that reason, I'll give it a thumbs down. But it would have been a total thumbs up if it ended.
You've
up
never ran a wrestling promotion either, but right there, just as a fan for years and years, you came up with a better idea when we're all just sitting over here Skype having a podcast. Like, I mean, come on, like. It's a great idea, and you're right. That would have totally justified it and made it so much more like able to digest like than what we got. Sorry, God damn it.
Yeah, you could have faded in to Bray having his thumb in his mouth, and Cena finally snaps out of it and tries to get away, and and they do a little more work. They could have done all sorts of things, like he was underneath his power the entire time. I'm down with that. Undertaker lights shit on fire with his hands. I mean, come on, like Jesus, just raises his arm up and the barn's on fire. I can get with that. We all have. So I just put it back in the ring for me. Thumbs down.
I still don't know how I truly feel about all this. Like, do you think they asked you to suspend disbelief on Saturday and then Sunday they ask you to take it to a whole nother level with this? I appreciate the attempt of how meta it was. And I got what they were trying to do. It was all kind of in the head or a John Cena fever dream or whatever it kind of was. But I think, yeah, it's almost one step too far in that they never really wrestled or did anything. So what's the point of the whole thing? It's just very strange. But then again, this year's unlike any other. I would love to hear the backstory of when they decided to pivot to this. At what point they were going to go this route to make it a complete mind F instead of not an actual match. And when Cena got his music hit and he actually goes in the Wrestlemania arena, I remember saying, oh, it looks like they're actually going to wrestle in the ring for this. And then it just began to melt and go crazy from there. But with that said, I didn't hate it. I appreciated the attempt. I forgive it, but I still don't know how I feel about it. There's I couldn't take my eyes off it. I know that's for damn sure. And I don't know if that, but that's sometimes necessarily not a good thing either, but I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I was like dumbfounded. I think our texts we did not text during this. I think we were all processing it. Like what is happening? But I don't know. I will reserve judgment, but kudos to John Cena, I guess, and I think we were talking about
himself out there
for letting that happen and Bray Wyatt and coordinating and letting that stuff, and then what Bray Wyatt sings the Bellas music as part of it, and all the little moments and his actual fears and nightmares of his career. Like, there's something I give props to that, but is it enough to save it? Don't know.
The inkling of that idea I like, but I don't know what it was missing for me.
Wrestling.
I like all when you name all those individual things. I'm like, yes, okay, and then but
it's all very well
it's like
done.
all these ingredients that they put in the same bowl, and every ingredient's like, I don't want to be next to that ingredient. I don't even want to look at that ingredient. And like you're trying to stir it together. Going, no, you will fucking stir it together. And then no, we're not though. Like it's just that's how I felt the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know, cuz what the fuck?
No, it felt dirty. Like
because we gave you the best for last, man. We saved you for last on purpose.
Craig didn't say thumbs up, down, middle. What do you give it?
I think
no,
it's more
that's
than middle.
I appreciate it because you got to hold me to the fire. I'll I guess
it sounds like
thumbs in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the middle on it. You can tell when he's talking. He's middle.
Just saying that about John Cena putting himself out there. Actually, according to Meltzer, of course, Bray Wyatt and Pritchard, they were the main creative minds behind it, and then Cena added or took out whatever for the better, according to them. So Cena actually did have a big part in it, and in the final say of the product. But I'm gonna give just because we had to, like I said, I had to remove myself from my biasness towards a certain style of professional wrestling. I did it for the Boneyard match. I get it now. I get it why people love deletions and all that crap, or why you have to separate from that.
Yeah.
I give it a thumbs up, man, because just everything from the beginning, the Cena with the original Cena coming in and playing off of his debut, and Bray was playing the part of Angle, and kind of telling you like you've been made to look like this hero and this wholesome character, and you're for the kids, but all the schmarks out there, all of us, they know or they hear about the stories behind the scenes about how you're actually kind of a dick. About how you do this, and that's your worst nightmare because you don't want that image on you. You want to be the good guy. You want to be the big hero. And then the whole thing, like you would never thought of you seen John Cena coming out with the 2 Sweet and the NW shirt because you don't want to be viewed as Hogan, brother. You don't want to be known as Hogan, the guy that was this big wholesome hero. But you heard about the stories about him politicking and holding people down, and then the whole thing, like also just going into kayfabe with the John Cena character being that. Going back to Wrestlemania 2014, where like, here you go, Cena, hit me with the chair. Prove to the world, I already know the type of guy you are. You're a fucking dick. You would cheat to win. Hit me with the chair. You didn't. You win. And now I'm giving you the chair again. Do it. Now do it. And you did. You gave in to your heel side. You fucking lost. And then they played that, what John Cena said on his promo a week ago. I'm going to beat the most overhyped, overrated, hyped up
which was himself,
and that was how it ended. And you know what? Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a fucking full-on match like the Boneyard match. It was just a fight, and there was a lot of theatrics there too. I give it a thumbs up because I appreciate it, and I even saw a comment that said this was for the long life wrestling fans, as far as the ones that know about the shit that goes on backstage. You hear the you can look but you can't touch, the this is good shit. All of that was honestly kind of like, here you go, guys. Like we're kind of calling all that shit out now. Right here for you. Yeah. So I give it a thumbs up. I thought it was fucking. I enjoyed it better than the Boneyard match.
So they were speaking to the smarks.
That's a really interesting point, though. Is like, okay, so I don't think they were this apparent with their deliberate, but like, okay, you want to talk shit and not enjoy the actual product and not live in the moment of wrestling. Well, here's all the backstage stuff. Here's all the mental stuff. Here's all like the scuttlebutt and all the stories. And then boom, no wrestling at all. Suck on that. Do you want wrestling? Do you miss wrestling? Now just and will you enjoy the product now?
In every aspect, just the Cena, like you guys, he was being shoved down your throats, and you guys think this way of him, and that might be true. Actually,
was it our punishment? Was it true? Was it smart punishment? The whole thing?
No, I think it was just a lot of different aspects. There was so many layers to that.
You could argue it's playing to them. It's playing to them and showing them. Look,
that's true.
We hear you.
Because if you showed it to someone who didn't watch wrestling and they wouldn't have gotten the Easter eggs and the reference,
they would be like, well, what the fuck is that?
And then the fact that it kind of keeps it open, and you don't know, like, now is Cena going to be a heel, or is he going to kind of redeem himself? Is he going to maybe come forward and say, like, you know what, guys, there was a lot of truth in that. I was this and that, and I did do. You never know though. That's what I loved about it. And I'm like, you know what? I had to separate myself, just like with the Boneyard match, from what professional wrestling is supposed to be. This match did it, this segment, this experience did it for me, and I give it a thumbs up.
The next thing,
they do this more. It's a fair argument.
It's actually a very, very good point, and because of all people, I'm not saying this because I'm surprised that you're giving an intelligent point. Just the side of the fence that you're on this. You will complete your face turn if in 2 months you say, "Hey Jess, I just scored great ticket to see Joey Ryan." I'd be like, you flipped a total 180, cuz like you've come through to the other side, big guy. Like welcome.
That's still more unrealistic than what we saw in the Firefly.
You notice how he said you flipped too. I love how he gave it the term flip. He had to make sure he got that in there.
So can I pose it to you guys? Do you guys, now that we've had these two cinematic pieces or these little postmodern like things, do you want to see more of them?
No, because with the company that they're with, the company that they're being done in right now is famous for overdoing shit, and I know that they're going to, but like I don't want them to. I don't want them to because good or bad, they both were fine.
Well, let me ask everyone
they're
really
well
quick.
done.
What did you like better, the Firefly Funhouse, or did you like the House of Horrors?
Boneyard.
No, House of Horrors with Bray and Orton.
What's House of?
Remember that?
Oh God!
Oh yeah, when they did the projection on the actual Ring of the Worms and stuff.
Match.
That was
the white
you got pinned with the fridge.
Yeah, I guess at least that was a
white,
match. I mean, I would prefer never to speak of either one of them, but at least another one was a match. I guess. I mean, I guess say which one do you prefer is like, yeah,
like no
do you
joke.
want to jump on a bed
Jess,
of
my wife
nails, or
said-
do you want to jump in a pit of fire? I'm like, I don't know. Like, really, they're both gonna suck.
Alvarez,
Like,
it's
well,
funny.
this is
Alvarez did
here,
a poll, and everyone actually
said which one's better.
80% voted that they liked
Said
it.
fire.
Yeah.
The fire.
Oh yeah, for sure. I saw that. No, but my wife actually said that, you know, the match with Orton and Bray before, she said the Boneyard match reminds me of that. This is better. The Boneyard's better. She's like, but that's not saying much. That's what she said. She's like, that's not saying much. I'm just like, I'm like, well, the bar's kind of low there, sweetheart. I understand. It's like the Boneyard match was good, but it's hard when you compare it to that. It's much better, but it's not saying.
Even though you guys didn't give it a thumbs up as far as the Firefly Funhouse, it played more towards us than it would like Dave, like your wife or my wife or anybody that doesn't.
The
really
kids know
my
kids didn't understand it.
Yeah.
My wife didn't understand it at all. Yeah, I agree with you. We understood all the references because we're the smarks. We get that. I will say this though. I would like to see more stuff like that if it's to tell a story,
and that's what
not to have a
they did tell a
match.
story, so that was good. Yeah, but
No, I'm saying
build-up
to build on a match.
Yeah.
If you're building up to a
Agreed.
match and you're showing this,
Agreed.
then I'm down with that all day. I thought that was great. It's better than the regular Firefly Funhouse stuff. That stuff's just talking and puppets. This was real. You know, this was good shit. But it's not a match for me.
Good shit.
They should have. You should have played this a week ago and had Cena all fucked up in the head when he walked in. That would have been sick.
Also, hashtag some good shit was trending last night.
How is it not?
And also,
How is it
and
not?
also to fuck John Cena for being in the best shape I've ever seen him in, even at his age.
Jesus
That
Christ,
motherfucker.
He's
God damn it.
He's amazing.
I even texted too. John Cena looks skinny, and then the next scene he was in his original garb, when he first came out in SmackDown, and I was like, that motherfucker, it looks fantastic, you son of a bitch.
Look good.
So the next match we're going to jump on to the main event and the cap off of WrestleMania 36. Drew McIntyre defeated Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Look, I wanted this match in front of a live crowd, and I think that would have probably serviced Drew the best. They made the right choice. I'm glad they put the title on him. It's what I've wanted for a long time. I know Dave especially is super passionate about Drew. And rightfully so, because he's everything that Vince wants, and I don't know why Vince stumbles so much with it. He finally gets the tall guy, the muscular guy, the so masculine looking, and everything about him. And then he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do with them. I have no idea. I don't know what took him so long.
No, you fucking put the title
but I'm
on.
glad.
Fuck's
I
sakes.
give it a
That's what you
thumbs
do.
in the middle because it was short, and I get why it should have been short. I don't know if I would have wanted it longer, but it's not like Brock can't go, despite what other people think, what stupid people think. Brock could go, and so I don't know.
Brock is.
I don't know. Maybe we didn't. Maybe
Brock is not Goldberg.
Yeah,
Let's just
maybe
say
we
that
didn't
right now.
need
Brock is not Goldberg. He
maybe
can
we
go.
did not need a 15-20 minute bruiser fest after the night we've had. But but I don't know. I just wish it was. I really wish it was in front of a live crowd, and that's not either one of their faults. And I gave it a thumbs in the middle only because that's what I want. I'm selfish. I want. But I'm glad Drew won. I really hope they have plans for him. I for obvious reasons. I hope all this other bullshit blows over that's affecting our lives right now, of course.
I agree with
I
everything
want to
that
see
you're
Drew
saying.
in front of a crowd and leading the company and see what he could do as a draw and just see what he's got. I'm interested in that immensely. So I give it thumbs in the middle. No disrespect to anybody. It was short, and of course it was going to happen.
No,
they made the right choice.
It's a thumbs middle, and it is the right choice because Brock, suplex city in on someone and walking around the ring for 30 seconds every time he doesn't do anything when there's nobody in the there's no one in the building. That's the problem, and that's how Brock's matches are. He devastates people and he stares them down while they're in aching pain, and he laughs at them, and it's fucking phenomenal, but there's no one to react to it. So you would have just been sitting there watching Brock prance around the ring with nobody in the building. And I bet they tried it and they had to squash it. They probably taped it. It's probably laying in the back somewhere. And they're like, oh, that's not going to fucking
like
work.
a longer match?
But they could. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brock prancing around after he goes Suplex City on Drew, and Drew eventually overcomes it and wins. It doesn't work here. So it sucks that they squash it because they could have had a great match if there was people in the building. I agree with everything Jess is saying. It is a thumbs middle, but I'm so glad that Drew is going to be our champion for a while. I hope he takes more of a heelish turn. It doesn't have to be a complete heel, but I hope he becomes that dick champion a little bit. and has some grit to him, and just destroys everybody. Doesn't care who they are, heel or face. I hope that's where it goes for a while.
I will give it a thumbs down because I thought, but I never really thought about that, Dave, until you just said it. Maybe they did try to do another plan for a longer match and it just didn't work. But I thought Brock was on board, and I thought Brock was mentoring him and the pick up the belt moment from Raw and the build up and that kind of stuff. But then you went ahead and did both your big world titles, and I wouldn't call this a squash, of course, but 4 minutes is not enough to tell any kind of story. So I wasn't sure the motivation behind it. But I appreciated the moment for Drew. I feel a bit sad it was the way it was, but you had that shot of him with the WrestleMania sign saying thank you on the turnbuckle at the end with a down Brock Lesnar. Overall, I was sent home happy, but the match itself, big disappointment, and maybe my mind was just still reeling from the Firehouse before that. But I would have liked to see a lot more, and I don't know why I didn't.
Man, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up just for Drew McIntyre because I feel like he's deserved it. He's deserved it for a long time. I do wish it was. Because Brock and Goldberg, when they had their rematch after the Survivor Series, match with Goldberg squashing Lesnar in a minute, in 18 seconds or whatever it was. I kind of wish it was more that style. And honestly, like we mentioned, or like I mentioned earlier already with Rollins and Owens, they're talking shit, taking advantage of the silence, and Baron Corbin doing the same. I kind of was hoping more that this match would do that. I felt like it was a perfect opportunity, especially, Brock, suplex speed, bitch, yeah, Drew McIntyre, second back to Scotland, motherfucker. Like, I hope like shit was like that was going down, but they worked with what they had, and it was after the Firefly Funhouse. I think WWE knew kind of like, well, they got to process that shit, pal. I mean, we're going to give them a 4-minute match. But at the same time, Drew McIntyre, man, I felt like he deserved it, and I liked how he played to it. Like, you're all here with me, and all that shit. And it was a great moment. I wish, obviously,
and we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I felt. When he was saying that, you felt that, and just everything. Like, they were building Drew up. He kicked out of one F5, and then F5 twice, and then he kicked out of two. He kicked out of two. And then he beat Brock. And I kind of like that aspect when they do that. Like, Brock, you're thinking like, oh, if the match is going to end quick, Brock is the guy that's going to kill the guy. Yeah. But then they kind of built up Drew in that sense. Like, Drew ended it in 4 minutes. And I do like that aspect of professional wrestling when they can do that. When it's like, because when you watch UFC, for example, you see two heavy hitters, you're like, oh, man, this match is going to fucking end like probably quick because these two guys are known for striking and knocking people out. So I do like when they kind of add that sense of realism to it. And you're expecting usually in professional wrestling, the main event to be a 20 or 30 minute fucking match. And when they end it like that. But yeah, man, Drew McIntyre, he's deserved it. He's deserved it for a long time. And I'm finally glad they did it. And Dave, honestly, I think they should go that route. I think in order for Drew to have a lengthier, meaningful and like fucking boring, dull title reign, I think he needs to turn into that Brock Lesnar. He has to
fuck off.
I think he needs to turn into Brock Lesnar now. I think he needs to turn into that Brock Lesnar. Yeah. I think you need to see him having title matches where he's brutalizing people, where he brutalizes people like, the
reverse Roman.
Like a Kevin Owens. Yeah, exactly. And I think you need to actually have him brutalize a Roman or John Cena to legitimize that title reign more. But I'm going to give it a thumbs up just because of the moment. And it was finally like that crowning achievement. He won the Royal Rumble. Great reaction when he won the Rumble. And then the story they told with his Chronicle story on the WWE Network. I think it was a good way to cap it off. A good way to cap off that fucking WrestleMania weekend. And honestly, I think overall, I think I would give the whole WrestleMania weekend a thumbs up. If you guys want to go ahead and give your thumbs up, down, middle for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
The whole.
I'll say one thing before I give that thumbs up, because it is. I think if Brock had rushed him, hit the post,
yes,
and knocked himself silly, and then. And then he caught a Claymore and squashed it, I would have been happier with it.
Yeah, actually, that would have been cool too. That would have been a good story.
Would have been fine. Yeah, like knocked himself silly and he Claymored him and he never touched him and wins the title and gets the fuck out. And then now Brock leaves for a while and comes back and says, you got lucky, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be better than what I saw, I think. That's why I can't give it a thumbs up. That's fine. As far as WrestleMania goes, yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up because these guys and gals especially, God, they worked their ass off and they gave us something, and I'll never forget it. and I'll always be thankful for them. And I'm so happy that we get to see something like this when some of us have been in quarantine for over a month. We can't leave the house. And I just want to take the time to say thank you to wrestling for giving us moments like this. I was very appreciative. Thumbs up for me for the entire event.
With putting both episodes together, we just talked about this for almost 2 hours. I have to give it a thumbs up. And that's how it affected me. I think that we couldn't imagine it without 70,000 people, in a 7-hour event. Goddamn 7 hours, like in one night. We couldn't imagine it, and so now we were forced to see it. And I think that the fact that, like I said, we were talking about this for 2 hours just right now in an impromptu kind of episode session, it has to be a thumbs up. It really does, and I feel that way. I won't forget a lot of the things I saw in it, and it will fit right into, remember that WrestleMania moment, or remember that, because a lot of them belong. It's not, some of these moments that did happen, I can legitimately say belong in the 36, chapters of this book of WrestleMania that we don't know when's going to end, but,
You can argue now we might have 2 days of WrestleMania going forward, which
I hope so. That's another podcast altogether, but I hope so. I think they really should. Yeah. What did you think, Craig, about the 2 nights?
I think, not to be too dramatic, but the last month, to Dave's point, and I myself have been quarantined for longer than a month. I have been kind of without a job since November. And in the last kind of 3 weeks quarantined, and then I think we all wake up with a little baseline anxiety and worry about everything that's happening in the world. And for these hours this weekend, it felt a little normal. And texting back and forth with you pieces of garbages is a sense of normalcy. And although we weren't kind of together, kind of cheersing each other and laughing and making fun of the product and making each other crack up as we always did, at least we kind of got to do it and feel normal for a little while. So, and against all odds and circumstances, I cannot fathom how difficult that job WWE was to pull that off, between the film pieces, between scrambling, between getting them all in the ring, between setting up that place, the logistics involved. I can't not give it a thumbs up, and I can't not, like to Dave's point, say thank you to them for it. So I think we'll be telling our kids about it. Certainly, it's like, why are they fighting in an empty arena in 2020? And I'll be like, here's a story. But I loved it, and I forgive a lot of what I saw. But at the end of the day, I loved it.
Yep. Hit us up on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Click on Linktree. You can find us on several platforms, including Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. This is Dave, Jess, Cuz, and Craig with the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.